Okay, so let's take a look today at algebraic long division. And usually a question will be phrased like this: divide some sort of a polynomial by something else. Okay, or they could put it like the polynomial all over the other thing written. That could be another way it's written, saying the same thing. Now we're going to look at doing long division method. You can also do it by factorizing or factor theorem, but focusing today on long division. So I'll tackle 3 questions, and like that, what I recommend is to try the questions yourself first and then have a look at the solutions. Question 1. Okay, so we have the question here, and our most important thing is our setup. So x minus 7 is long dividing into all of this stuff. So I'm going to grab this all there. Now, the first thing we're going to look at is x times what gives me 2x cubed. And it's going to be x multiplied by 2x squared. Now, once we have that, we're going to do times the 2 terms here, and we're going to write them underneath. So 2x squared times x and 2x squared times minus 7, and write them underneath. So that there becomes 2x squared by x is 2x cubed, and 2x squared by minus 7 is minus 14x squared. Now, the most important thing then is the next stage, and for that I've created a song. You draw a line and you change the sign. So if you missed that, what I said was you draw a line and you change the sign. So how does that help you out? Well, first off, it's a catchy tune. I'm pretty sure I stole it from My Little Pony, but I'll never know. These two guys cancel, and minus 11x plus 14x gives you a cool, crisp 3x squared. Now, bring down the next one, minus 25, and we're going to rinse and repeat the idea. X times what gives me 3x squared, and I write it on top. So x times 3x would give me 3x squared. Now that I have that 3x, I times it by the 2 values here, and I write them both underneath. So 3x times x gives me 3x squared. 3x times minus 7 gives me minus 21x. And then my favorite part, draw a line and I change the sign. Okay, these guys cancel, and we get minus 25 plus 21, which gives me negative 4x. Bring down the 28 and rinse and repeat. X times what gives you negative 4x? It would be minus 4, and I write that up here. So I write up here minus 4, and now I do minus 4 times these two numbers and write them underneath. So I end up getting minus 4x. Minus 4 by minus 7 is plus 28. And then just to finish it off, draw a line and I change the sign. Now, just to emphasize, what do I mean by change sign? Here, if it's a minus, I make it a plus, and here, if it's a plus, I make it a minus. I highly recommend that you do not use any Tipp-Ex or correcting fluid. You will forget. Now, last thing to do is just to write your answer for the examiner, because you're a good soul. So you're going to say your answer is, when I divide this number by x minus 7, I get whatever this is on top, 2x squared plus 3x minus 4. Now, in a question, it might follow on and ask you to do stuff with that. Maybe you have to factorize it further, but for now, we were just asked to divide it. So we are done. Okay, question 2. Similar idea. Now, I'm going to start off by doing this wrong, so you can watch and see me do it wrong, or you can write it out and try it yourself and wonder why things are not going well for you. Definitely worth trying this out yourself before, now that you've watched question 1. So do pause it and do that. But assuming you've done that, x times what gives me 2x cubed? Well, it's going to be 2x squared. I take the 2x squared and I times it by both terms, and I write them underneath. So I end up getting 2x cubed, and 2x squared by minus 1 is minus 2x squared. Now, I do my favorite part. I draw a line and I change the sign. Change the sign of the bottom ones, and these guys cancel. But then I get here, I get minus 3x plus 2x squared. Oh no, you can't add x's and x squareds. So I get a bit confused and confuddled. So here's my advice. Go back a bit, and I'm going to delete all this, forget my work that I've done. And instead here where it says minus 3x, you'll notice it has an x cubed, then an x, then no x. Now another way of saying that is it has an x cubed, it has an x to the power of 1, and it has an x to the power of 0, because there's like anything to the power of 0 is just 1. Right? But what it's missing is an x squared in between. So we need to add in an x squared term. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to drag that over because I have the power of dragging. You might have to rub out or start again. But I'm going to add in a 0x squared. So I'm not actually adding anything, but I'm just putting it into my equation here to hopefully make my life a little bit more manageable. So now x times what gives me this, and we begin the trial again. 2x squared. 2x squared, and then minus 2x squared. And now I draw a line and I change the sign. And over here I get cancellation. And 0 plus 2x leaves me with 2x squared, sorry, leaves me with 2x squared. And hey presto, I could actually subtract or add them. Now bring down the minus 3x and rinse and repeat as last time. X times what? Gives you 2x squared, and it would be 2x, and then do the 2x times the two terms and write them underneath. I draw a line and I change the sign. Minus 3x plus 2x gives me minus x. Bring down the 1 plus 1. X times what gives me minus x? It would be minus 1. Take the minus 1, times it by both, put them underneath. And at this point you should be going, oh, I'm getting a bit bored of these. And I'm like, yes, queen. Because I draw a line and I change the sign. And these guys cancel to give me 0, which means that there is no remainder. Don't forget to give the answer at the end. So my answer here is this part up here. So it is 2x cubed plus 2x squared, excuse me. 2x squared plus 2x minus 1. And that's it for question 2. Okay, question 3. So I'm going to do the same setup, and really the only thing I'm showing in here is that this question kind of ends up a little bit differently, and we'll just see what's going on here. So in it again, I'm going to do 2x, or x by what gives me 2x cubed, it would be 2x squared. And I do 2x squared by the two numbers and I write them underneath. So I end up getting 2x cubed minus 4x squared. I draw a line and I change the sign. Now, over here, minus 3x squared plus 4x squared gives me x squared, and I bring down the 4x. Do it again, x times what gives you x squared? In this case, it's just plus x. And then I do the plus x times these two and I write them underneath. So I say x squared minus 2x. I draw a line and I change the sign. Here, these guys cancel and I get 4x plus 2x is 6x. And I'm feeling good. I bring down the minus 5 and I say, okay, x times what gives me 6x? And it's 6. So I say, okay, cool. And then I do 6 times x gives me 6x, and 6 times negative 2 gives me minus 12, and I'm feeling a sadness deep in my soul. And I start going, oh no, maybe I'm wrong. Now, what I'll say in the Irish Juinor and Leaving Cert, they usually have said in the past, whenever this has come up, and it's very rare, but they actually say show that it has a remainder. So these guys cancel, but minus 5 plus 12 is going to give me 7. So that's actually remainder 7. So I've divided this number by x minus 2, but what would I be left over with? I'd be left over with 7. So my answer here is 2x squared plus x plus 6, and then saying remainder 7. So you'd 7 additional or 7 left over. And that's the only thing additional to be aware of in your algebraic long division. But really now you should be able to tackle all type of questions to do with algebraic long division. Best of luck in your exams. Hope you found that useful. If you did, then like or subscribe, or check out the other social medias where I'll be adding extra resources. If you want something particular made, then just leave me a message on one of those platforms and I'll do my best to get around to it at some point. Best of luck in all your exams.